What if I told you that feeling late in life has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with the invisible timeline you were taught to follow? By 25, you should know who you are. By 30, you should have a career. By 40, stability. So when your life doesn't match that checklist, a quiet thought appears. I'm late. I missed my chance. Did I blow my shot? Truth. The biggest successes often come later in life. Vera Wang entered fashion design at 40. Colonel Sanders didn't succeed until 65. Ray Kroc built McDonald's after 50. Even Albert Einstein didn't fully revolutionize physics until his 30s, despite being a curious child. And Charles Darwin published Origin of Species at 50, decades after his initial explorations. They weren't behind. They were late bloomers, not because they didn't start, but because their greatest contributions matured over time. Let's be honest, it's easy to feel behind. You scroll and see people younger than you, already successful, confident, seemingly figured it out, and a little voice whispers, "Did I miss my chance? Am I too late?" Here's the thing, your brain treats it like a fact, but it's not. Life isn't a straight line. Most of us were taught school to career to growth to success. Measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel will always make you feel behind, even when you're not. Slower development isn't a flaw, it's a strength. Rich Carlgard in Late Bloomers shows that taking longer to integrate experiences creates deeper, lasting success. Late bloomers explore multiple fields, assemble ideas in unique ways, and often achieve more profound impact than early bloomers. And if you're wondering how to apply this to your own life, here are practical steps and habits that can help you bloom at your own pace. Practical tip number 1. Redefine progress. Instead of asking, "Am I behind?" ask, "Where am I in my journey?" Each stage has its own pace. Explore, try and discover. Integrate, connect your experiences. Create, make new ideas. Apply, put them into action. Knowing your stage shows hidden progress. Late bloomers often take the scenic route. That's what sets them up for their biggest impact. Practical tip number 2. Track depth, not speed. Instead of chasing milestones, track clarity of your decisions, depth of your understanding, meaningful relationships, skills you're truly integrating. Arthur Brooks in From Strength to Strength highlights that the second half of life often rewards wisdom, judgment, and purpose more than speed or output. Tracking depth over speed aligns perfectly with late bloomer development. Many late bloomers experience long periods of friction, doubt, confusion, feeling lost. It's normal. This friction is your brain wiring networks for deeper insight and synthesis, much like the mental preparation Darwin did for decades before publishing. Even everyday struggles, revisiting old ideas, trying and failing, train your brain for higher-order thinking. Practical tip number 3. Use friction as feedback. When you feel slow, uncomfortable, or behind, ask, "What am I integrating right now?" Discomfort isn't failure, it's growth recalibration. Carlgard emphasizes that productive friction is a hidden engine of creativity and intelligence. Practical tip number 4. Activate slow thinking. Late bloomers need thinking time. Daily reflection, walks without input, journaling. What confuses me? What patterns do I notice? What am I learning without rushing? These habits strengthen the default mode network, responsible for deep insight, creativity, and problem solving. Even Einstein's thought experiments, imagining chasing a beam of light, illustrate this principle. Slow, undistracted reflection builds intelligence. Gladwell in Outliers also notes that opportunity and timing matter. Slow thinking prepares you to recognize and act on the right chance, even if it comes later. Practical tip number 5. Cross-domain exploration. High-impact late bloomers rarely focus narrowly. Steve Jobs combined technology with calligraphy. Darwin merged natural history with geology and observation. Brooks notes that the second half of life often benefits from synthesizing experience across domains, seeing connections others miss. Pick one habit each week, read in a completely different field, experiment with a new skill, or reflect on how an unrelated domain informs your work. Practical tip number 6. Reframe your timeline. Life isn't a straight line. It's non-linear, filled with peaks, valleys, and periods of incubation. Malcolm Gladwell shows that comparing yourself to early achievers creates a false sense of lag. Late bloomers develop their own trajectory. Often, it surpasses early success in depth and resilience. Your brain isn't behind, it's still becoming. Your bloom isn't late, it's deeper. If this resonated, share it with someone who feels late in life. They might be closer than they think. And if you're curious, we can keep learning, thinking, and growing right here together.